What's up, guys? Zach Parks here, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. I've gotten a lot of requests from this one. If you saw my last video that I posted up, just talking about things I've been doing just to stay busy here in the house and stay productive. I've been developing my own E6 or slide film here at home, and if you're already familiar with home developing, which this video we're going to assume that you are, I'm not going to be showing you how to load reels or anything like that. I'm just going to be walking you through my process of developing the slide film here in my kitchen. So if you're familiar with home developing, if you've been doing black and white or C41, I am here to tell you that you can easily do slide film. I think a lot of people tend to worry about slide film in general, shooting it and developing it. There seems to be a lot of emphasis put on how difficult it is, or how much more careful you have to be. I'm here to tell you, screw that. You can do it. It's easy. I don't use a sous vide. I don't use anything to regulate my temperature. And you'll see that as we go through this little process. So I use the Film Photography Project E6 kit that I picked up off of their website. I think it was like 35 bucks, 36 bucks, somewhere around there, and it can do, I think, 12 rolls. It was the recommended use, which was perfect for me because I had about 10 rolls of expired slide film in the fridge that I've been wanting to shoot for a while. So it's a 3-step process if you don't include the rinses and all that. But you have your first developer, and then you have a second developer, which is your color developer, if I'm not mistaken, and then you have a Blitz, and that's it. It's a 3-step process. You rinse before you start developing, and then you do a rinse in between every one of the chemicals, and you do a final wash. That's it. So first off, what I do to get my chemicals up to temperature, because they do need to be at about 100 degrees. My tap gets up to 120, so I run the hot water, I let it get as hot as it can, I fill this tub here up, and then I just let this stuff sit in there for a little while until it gets up to temp. While that's sitting in there, normally I will go ahead and I'll use that time to load my film into the onto the reels and into the tank. Today I've already done that, so the film's already in here. All we got to do is get this stuff up to temp, and then we will start developing. Alright, so now that we have the tub full of hot water, I just let it sit. I put my thermometer here in the top. I just put it in the first developer. While I'm waiting on the chemicals to come up to temp, I will normally take whatever film it is that I'm developing. I will take it into my little office room. I'll load the film onto the reels, get them in the tank, come back in here. Normally I have to wait a little bit longer for the chemicals to actually get up to temp. So my chemicals are up to temp now, which means I will go ahead and do my pre-wash, which is just 100-degree water. I agitate it for about 30 seconds. You just leave it in there for pre-wash for a minute before you start developing. I'll agitate it for about 30 seconds during that, and then dump that out. That just kind of washes off the initial layer of the film, and also works on bringing that film up to the appropriate temperature for when you start developing. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. And I'll set my timer, and then like I said, I just agitate for around 30 seconds during the pre-wash, just to make sure everything gets rinsed pretty evenly. You will see the slide film after the pre-wash. When I pour the stuff out, it comes out. I haven't developed any of this film yet. This is a roll of some Agfa slide film. I don't remember the name of it, but the Fuji's, the Fuji slides that I've been developing, Astia and Provia, have come out with this really deep purple color. So I'm kind of curious to see what this comes out like. You do want to make sure to rinse off whatever you're kind of reusing, just to keep from cross-contamination. We're done with the pre-rinse now, so we're gonna pour it out. It's got like a nice little pink color to it. All right. All right, so now we're going to start with the first developer, and you're going to, that's going to go for 6.5 minutes. So we'll pour that in. Then once we get that poured in, we'll start our timer. While we're developing, we will agitate for 15 seconds every 30 seconds. So right now, we'll, the timer is at going on 5 minutes. So I will agitate until 4 minutes and 45 seconds, and then we'll wait 30 seconds, and then we'll agitate again for another 15 seconds. Alright, so we're doing our last agitation now. I like to go ahead and get my funnel in my bottle because we are going to be reusing these. So once we're done, we'll pour it right back into the bottle. So I just pour it straight into the bottle just like this. You want to be kind of careful as to not splash anything. To be honest, I probably should be wearing gloves right now, but it's my house and my rules. I'll do what I want. Alright, so once we get that done, I just like to set my chemical to the side, because then we're going to rinse this out 7 times with water around the same temperature. So you want to go for like 100 degrees or so. And you want to rinse that out 7 times just to make sure you get all of the first developer out of there and you don't contaminate the second developer. And we'll do this in between the second developer as well before we go to the Blitz, just to make sure there's no cross-contamination. And once we're done with our rinse, we'll move on to the second developer. Now the second developer only goes for 4.5 minutes. So what I do, I'll step over here to my timer. We'll put it on 4.5. And it's the same agitation. So 15 seconds every 30 seconds. That's your agitation rate for at least this E6 kit. I'm not sure about other E6 kits. I've never used them, so I have nothing to compare it to. And like I said, for the second developer, it'll be 4.5 minutes. So your first developer is going to be 6.5 minutes. Then you rinse 7 times. Then you go to your second developer. Your second developer is going to be 4.5 minutes. And then after this, we'll rinse another 7 times. Now, while I'm doing this, I'll go ahead and rinse off my funnel so that I don't have to worry about any cross-contamination between the first developer and the second developer. So I'll just give it a good little rinse in the sink. And then I'll just go ahead, set it right back in the bottle. That way we're good and ready to go. Now, if you're using a plastic bottle, clear plastic bottle, like I am now, you want to make sure you squeeze all of the excess air out of the bottle before you put your cap back on. This will make the chemicals last longer. Just keeps them from oxidizing. Alright, so just as before with the first developer, when we're done with this one, we'll rinse off our little twizzle stick here. And then we will pour our chemicals back into the bottle. Go ahead and get that out of the way. Get our funnel back in the sink. We'll turn our water back on. As I said, we'll do this 7 times, and you want the water to be at least, around the temperature that you're developing at, which is 100 degrees for this kit. All right, so we'll rinse it one more time. We'll pour that out. We'll set our timer to 6.5 minutes. And then we'll move on to the third step, which is the Blitz. We'll go ahead and seal up our bottle. You want to squeeze all the air out, make sure it is airtight. So at this point, it's actually safe to expose your film to the light, but I just leave my lid on the tank throughout the whole process. It's just, why wouldn't you really? But either way, we're going to move on to the Blitz now, which is our third and final step, really. After this, all we'll have is the final rinse, which I will show you in a few minutes. You do want to be careful when pouring the Blitz because it is a bleach mixture, so it will stain. As I said earlier, I should probably be wearing gloves. So I just set that down in the sink, set our timer, grab our little twizzle stick here, and start going. Alright guys, we're almost done here with the Blitz. We're doing our final agitation now. Then we'll be pouring it back into the bottle, same as all the others. And then after that, we'll just have our final rinse. And then I'll get to show you guys some of the shots I took. So, same as before, we'll pour it into the bottle. Again, you do want to be very careful with these chemicals, especially the Blitz, because it is a bleach mixture and it will stain your clothes or anything else it gets on. So again, we'll go ahead and put the cap back on this. We'll squeeze all of the air out of the bottle just to keep the chemicals from oxidizing any quicker. This will make your chemicals last longer if you're using these clear plastic bottles. So I use my thermometer to make sure that my tap water is at or around 100 degrees, just as close as possible, which it now is. And then I just set my tank under there. I set my timer to 5 minutes, and then I find something else to do for 5 minutes. So yeah, now we just wait. So once I'm done with the final rinse and everything, I'll just take it into the bathroom. I give it a good few shakes just to get all that excess liquid off of there, and then I know a lot of people are torn on this, but I use a squeegee. I've only ever had a couple problems with it, scratching the film, so I don't really mind it. I use it, makes the film dry quicker, and eliminates all chances of water spots. So I'll take the squeegee to it, and then I just hang it up to dry. Yeah, that's about it. So yeah, once I hang it up, I'll normally just give it a good glance and admire my work. Alright guys, so that was it. That was this week's video. I really hope that this video was helpful. I'll be honest with you, I was having a hard time trying to figure out how to film it and edit it and everything, just to make it as informative as possible. And you know, my main goal was to make sure that like everyone knows. I know that home developing can be a little intimidating. I know slide film can be very intimidating to some folks, and I just wanted to put this video out there to show you that it's not scary, it's not hard. As you can see with my process, there's nothing super, you know, fancy or technical about it. It's mainly just, you know, getting your chemicals up temp and being consistent with your agitation and everything. It's not difficult, man. So if you've already been home developing like black and white and C41, there's no reason that you can't do slide film. And that's the point I wanted to make with this video. So yeah, I hope you guys found it informative. You know, if you've been wanting to develop slide film, I hope this video will kind of coax you in the direction of giving it a try. As I mentioned a few times, the kit that I am using right now is the E6 kit from Film Photography Project. I've had great results with it. The roll that we developed in this video was my 4th roll that I've developed with it so far, and I'm getting great results. I have about 6 more rolls of slide film that I'm going to be shooting and developing with it. So if you follow me on Instagram, you've already seen images from a few of the rolls that I've shot, and you'll be seeing a lot more because I am really enjoying this process. I'm really enjoying just like seeing the positive image. Is like, it's just super cool, man. So this roll that we just developed was a roll of Agfa CT, I think was the name of it, but it was an Agfa chrome film, and it was shot on my little Olympus Stylus Infinity. This is an awesome little camera. But yeah, it gets great results. I was kind of curious to see how well the metering would hold up on this camera, like shooting slide film, because you do have to be, you know, a little more precise with your metering. So I was super excited to see how this would do with some slide film, and you know, I'll show you guys some of the images from that roll right now. As you can see, it held up wonderfully. The metering on this thing is very spot on. So yeah, just enjoy a few of these images, guys. As always, don't forget to like the video if you were digging what you saw. Please hit that subscribe button if you're new here or you just haven't already. That just helps me out a lot, getting the videos out there further. You know, obviously I want this stuff to get out as far as possible. Also, there is a big cartel store to where you can go and purchase some 8x10 prints or some 8x8 prints. I think a few of them are 8x8. All that money just goes towards helping me keep this channel going and you know, keeping my lights on and everything while we're making it through this pandemic. You know, everyone who's purchased prints and everything so far through the store, thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate it. I know I say it all the time, but I mean it, and I'm gonna keep saying it. So thanks y'all. Don't forget to follow me over on Instagram at ZachParksPhoto. Everything will be linked down below for you guys to check out if you want. And until next time, y'all just stay inside, stay safe, keep shooting, wash your hands, and take it easy.